Terms and conditions. Legal notice. The publisher has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this report, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate due to the rapidly changing nature of the Internet. While all attempts have been made to verify information provided in this publication, the publisher assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals in legal, business, accounting, and finance fields. You are encouraged to print this book for easy reading. Table of Contents. Foreword. Chapter 1. Yoga Basics. Chapter 2. What is Hot Yoga? Chapter 3. How Yoga Helps Stress and Hyperactivity Disorders. Chapter 4. Helping Arthritis Ailments with Yoga. Chapter 5. Yoga Can Help Squash Back Pain. Chapter 6. Spiritual Healing with Yoga. Chapter 7. Emotional Healing through Yoga. Chapter 8. How to Practice Yoga Breathing. Chapter 9. Yoga Poses and What They Are For. Chapter 10. Possible Side Effects of Yoga. Wrapping up. Foreword. We need to give more importance to our health and the treatment of diseases. A big number of medicines treat only the symptoms of the disease, and not the base cause. As a matter of fact, the cause of a lot of chronic ailments is still being researched. It's here that yoga therapy comes to our aid. Yoga stresses treatment of the base cause of an ailment. It works in a slow, subtle, and marvelous manner. Modern medicine may claim to save a life at a vital stage, but, for pure recovery and recovering of normal health, one should look into the efficiency of yoga therapy. Chapter 1. Yoga Basics. Synopsis. Yoga implies union, in Sanskrit, the language of ancient India where yoga started. We may consider it the union taking place between the body, mind, and spirit. Yoga is the exercise of physical postures or poses. The basic info. Many individuals believe that yoga is simply stretching. However, while stretching is surely involved, yoga is truly about producing equilibrium in the body by formulating both strength and flexibleness. Commonly, a yoga class at a gymnasium will be more centered on the strictly physical advantages of yoga, while one at a yoga center might dig more into the spiritual side. A few individuals discover that the physical practice of yoga gets to be a gateway into a spiritual exploration, while other people simply enjoy a wonderful low-impact workout that makes them feel awesome. Whatever your disposition, you'll be able to discover a yoga class that accommodates your style. Yoga has a lot of advantages. It betters the flexibility of the body, one's strength grows, and it is a great way of dealing with tension. Stretching out your body in new ways will assist it to become more flexible, bestowing greater range of motility to muscles and joints. Yoga poses call for you to support the weight of your own body in novel ways, bettering both your physical strength and muscle tone. Physical activity is great for relieving tension, and this is especially true of yoga. Because of the concentration demanded, your daily hassles, both large and small, appear to melt away during the time you're doing yoga. Yoga is separated into 8 sections known as the 8 limbs of yoga. Every limb relates to a facet of accomplishing a healthy and fulfilling life, and each builds on the one before it. You might be surprised to hear that only one of the limbs affects the performance of yoga postures. Chapter 2. What is hot yoga? Synopsis. Like its title, this form of yoga is predominantly practiced in hot and humid surroundings which have this constant temperature atmosphere. Behind the heat. Apparently there are other effects that can occur with this particular feature incorporated into the sessions of yoga. It is interesting to note that though yoga is a very gentle and slow-moving art form, the individual can complete the session not only feeling rejuvenated but also a little sweaty. Therefore, when the hot yoga style is practiced, there is also the aim in mind to really sweat out the unwanted negative elements of the body. None of those who use this style find the excessive perspiration an unpleasant byproduct. In fact, most welcome it. Hot yoga is a set series of yoga poses specifically designed to be carried out in a hot or heated room. In most cases, the temperature of the environment where the hot yoga is done is kept at about 95 to 100 degrees. By mere virtue of the temperature alone, the level of perspiration is quite high. Coupled with the yoga exercises, the body is able to harness and emit a different level of warmth, which in turn is purported to make the individual's body more supple and flexible. The following are some of the benefits derived from the hot yoga style. The body's ability to burn fat is heightened. The fluidity of the joints, muscles, ligaments and other supporting structures of the body are enhanced. Tissues and muscles are more effectively oxygenated because the capillaries better dilate with the heated surroundings. Peripheral circulation improves due to the enhancement of sweating. The metabolism rate speeds up. The cardiovascular system get a more strenuous workout, though it is kept at a comfortable level. The sweating element provides the detoxification and elimination of toxics through the skin. Chapter 3. How yoga helps stress and hyperactivity disorders. Synopsis. Yoga is an increasingly popular exercise module across the world. Since yoga can be performed in a small space, and gym membership is not necessary, its popularity has and will continue to grow. Beyond the convenience benefits yoga offers, regular participation has effects on both the body and mind. Yoga combines exercise with meditation, making it a manifold effort in controlling more than one area of need. Calm. Yoga is another way to help individual with hyperactivity problems. As this art form teaches the individual to increase the concentration levels and promotes mental and physical discipline, it creates elements of confidence and the ability to focus better. Balance is a technique practiced often in yoga exercises. Many of the positions involve shifting your weight to different parts of the body and balancing while breathing deeply. Controlled breathing exercises are associated with emotional management, which helps restore oxygen to the brain. All this further trains the individual to slow down and be focused. In hyperactivity, the link between the mind and body is disturbed. Therefore, with yoga, the mind becomes more disciplined, while constantly promoting self-awareness and control. Yoga works to relieve the stress levels, which are a further contributing factor for the individual who already has to deal with hyperactivity. Yoga improves the individual's ability to synchronize, destimulate an overactive nervous system. Another effect yoga can have when done on a regular basis is that it promotes strength, creating a stronger, leaner muscle. Exercises that build strength also promote sleep, which can help to regulate unhealthy sleep habits. Without enough sleep, the problem-solving processes in the brain become diminished, which is another way yoga helps the mind to be able to operate at a high level. Yoga also improves concentration and creativity and creates sense of well-being and calm. Chapter 4. Helping arthritis ailments with yoga. Synopsis. Dealing with the arthritis condition can be very stressful and painful. Most arthritis sufferers diligently seek medical healing or alternative healing to help deal with the possibly debilitating disease. Decreasing pain. For most, the recommendation given is couple a good exercise regimen with the necessary supplementation of other medical prescriptions. For those who have ventured into taking up yoga, have found that they manage to achieve wonderful percentages of recuperation from this arthritis disease. Thus, yoga has over time become the mainstream methods for dealing with arthritis conditions. Yoga provides the gentle exercise routine for the arthritis patient who already has to endure the perpetual discomfort of pain. Each yoga move has a corresponding counter move, and this helps to address the various muscles and joints which are affected by the arthritis condition. Many people who have tried yoga have attested to the almost immediate pain relief they have experienced after only a few supervised sessions. When yoga is used as a form of treatment to address arthritis, the genes in the body which function as protector of pain and discomfort can actually be made to function more efficiently to create a relaxed effect. This then allows the patient to find some immediate relief from the pain aspect produced from arthritis. Some researchers have linked arthritis to deep-seated resentment building up in the individual's system. Thus, with the help of yoga, the deep-seated resentment can be addressed by focusing on restoring the balance in the chakra system. This chakra system is the primary energy vortex located along the spinal column and is associated with the energy of compassion and love for self and others. Yoga then helps to facilitate the means for the body to be rid of this negative energy pattern that is causing the arthritis disease, starting from the deepest levels. Chapter 5. Yoga can help squash back pain. Synopsis. Oftentimes people resort to painkillers or other medically prescribed items to control or reduce back pains. If the individual decides to try the art form of yoga to address back pain, all these foreign substances can be avoided. Yoga is natural and does not have any of the possible side effects the prescribed medications may have. Relief. If done correctly, yoga can heal back pains effectively because of the stretching and exercising of both the muscles and joints. All it takes is a little yoga exercises every day. Once the positions most suited to the individual are narrowed down to address back pains, the movements can be practiced anytime. In order to correct any back problems, certain contributing factors need to be looked into. The incorrect posture, improper movements, or bad body mechanics, repetitive strenuous motions on the joints and muscles, disc injuries, damaged or inflamed ligaments are just some of these issues. With the correct supervised combinations of yoga movements, all the above can be corrected, some gradually while others more quickly. Through the various yoga poses, specific areas of muscles and joints can be addressed and realigned to restore the centered positions in the body. Some of the common positions that yoga uses to address the back pains are the locust pose, the cobra pose, and a few poses from the Tadasana regiment. Besides doing all the various yoga poses to enhance the back muscles and strengthen the posture, keeping other regular exercises as part of the daily routine is also recommended. Simple exercises like swimming and light weight training are good ways to build and strengthen the back area. With the advancement of age, an individual should also be conscious of the strain on the back when lifting heavy objects or doing physically exerting exercises or work. Chapter 6. Spiritual healing with yoga. Synopsis. Everything in life is a contribution of two factors, cause and effect. In using medications to treat ailments, diseases, or illnesses, only the effect is addressed and not the root cause of the problem in the first place. This then allows for the problem to keep reoccurring and further treatment has to be sought. It's a vicious cycle that most people today take for granted, as the medication often work quickly and satisfactorily to rid the problem. Your spirit. Most main causes of diseases, ailments, and illnesses are because of poor diets, chemicals ingested in the form of medications, or the general attitude of the individual. Yoga techniques address these very important aspects with postures and poses and deep breathing exercises. Besides the yoga regimen of exercises, there is also another side of yoga that one can specifically train on. This is the spiritual side of yoga. Spiritual yoga teaches the individual how to attain a simple outlook in life and not too busy the mind with always chasing material things with the intention of gaining satisfaction. Yoga teaches how to get in touch with the inner man. Through the poses and meditations, the inner self can become centered and thus create a very powerful energy source, which in turn can provide the healing force necessary to heal. Being able to draw from this inner power should be the goal of every person's spiritual harmony. Yoga brings together physical movements with philosophical thinking, which equates the beginnings of spiritual healing. The spiritual healing process works on 3 levels. The balancing of energies thought the entire being and maintaining the equilibrium in the consciousness are the focal point. Using yoga to achieve spiritual healing also does work to the overall benefit of the individual in terms of the reactions one has with the outer elements. With the peace and holistic nature of the individual now possess, little can cause negative effects in his or her life. Chapter 7. Emotional healing through yoga. Synopsis. The emotional well-being of an individual is very important to maintaining good health and a good attitude in life. If a person's emotional health is not at its optimum positive level, then all other part of the body start to break down over time. This negative process is so subtle that very few people, if any, see the connection at all. Free your mind. All emotions are considered sacred. It's how these emotions are handled is where the problem lies. In the practice of yoga, the individual learns how to calm the body and mind and teaches the mind how to reach a level of peace and contentment. When this is successfully understood and learned, then the emotional healing process can take place. Armed with the emotional strength derived from learning yoga, the individual learns the difference between responding to a situation or conflict as opposed to reacting to it. Emotional healing helps the individual develop the thinking that reacting to negative situation, instinctively with emotions like anger, frustration, and grief can be controlled and turned into responding to the situation with a more positive attitude. This then allows the yoga technique to promote emotional healing from within to avoid any outside negative energy from seeping in. In this way, the individual gets to stay connected to the spirit and truth of the inner self. Healing emotionally through the use of yoga ensure the individual no longer looks upon a situation with the view of being victimized. Rather, this ability now gives the individual the strength to reinforce the self-identity with confidence. On a cellular level, even the body cell imprint the corresponding emotions in our thoughts and replicate them in the cell makeup. Therefore, connecting the healing pattern with the now optimum healing levels brings about both positive elements into the body and mind. Chapter 8. How to practice yoga breathing. Synopsis. Breathing is the basis of life. Without it, death is inevitable. As it is one of the most important parts of life's results of being alive, there is a need to learn proper breathing techniques. Yoga promotes this proper breathing as vital to bring oxygen to the blood and to the brain as do science. These breathing techniques bring about the highest form of purification and self-discipline, covering both the mind and body. Breath correctly. The primary intention of practicing yoga breathing is to prepare the individual to be prepared both in body and mind for the meditation phase. Generally, most people don't know the importance of breathing properly. Most people breathe in very shallow breaths, which does not carry enough oxygen to the entire body, which in turn causes various negative medical conditions. Yoga breathing is the art of taking deep breaths to fill up almost the entire lung and then to exhale slowly, while all the time concentrating on the process. Here are some simple steps to yoga breathing. Choosing a quiet and dimly lit area or naturally lit area. Use a comfortable yoga mat. Sit on the mat crossed-legged but pulled towards the chest. Keep the back straight and hold the arms in a relaxed and comfortable position on the thighs. Touch thumbs and index fingers together with palms facing downwards. Inhale deeply while focusing on the breath taken. Do this a few times until totally relaxed. Concentrate on trying to breathe from the abdominal area and not just the chest. Focus on ensuring this. Once the level is reached, alternate between cheek breathing and abdominal breathing. Touching the index and middle fingers to the thumb with the ring and pinky finger sticking out, press on one nostril and breathe deeply and exhale. Alternate this with the other nostril too. Chapter 9. Yoga poses and what they are for. Synopsis. Each yoga pose represents a different aspect to be addressed in the healing and enhancement of the general health of the individual. By strengthening each body part including abdominal muscles and the area around and near the spinal cord, better health is assured. Each yoga pose teaches the body to bear its own weight in that area rather than rely on other muscles to share or take on the weight. It also helps to enhance the inner self-power and self-assurance. The poses. The mountain pose is one of the easiest and most commonly used set of poses. It is purported to be so easy that it can be learnt straight from books. Thought this is not the recommended way to start yoga. This pose works as a good remedy to self-healing and relaxation. The bird of paradise pose contributes to the strengthening of the leg muscles. It also improves the balance by ensuring the focus stays on the intended muscles and not dependent on any others. It also helps to improve balancing while loosening the groins and hamstrings. The bridge pose takes a little getting used to, but it works wonders for the spinal area. Besides the main aim of strengthening the spine, it opens the chest and improves spinal flexibility, and stimulates the thyroid. The cobra pose is another pose that focuses on the spinal area. It increases the flexibility of the spine and it great for relieving back pains. The dolphin pose is similar to the dog pose and is used to enhance the blood flow and is particularly useful for those with wrist problems commonly associated with pianists, computer users and writers. The dragonfly pose, or also known as the hummingbird pose, is quite difficult and requires a lot of practice, but once achieved it contributes to strengthening the arms and the ability to arm balance. There are many more poses and it's never ending if one wants to explore further. However, in order to be effective, it is recommended that only a few poses should be picked and used at any given time. Chapter 10. Possible side effects of yoga. Synopsis. As with most things, there are bound to be side effects if one does not take the time to understand the endeavor embarked upon. Yoga is no different. Though it is known for its grace and gentleness, it should be taken for granted and certainly should be deviated until and unless one understands the possible consequences of the deviation. What you should know. Some yoga movements consist of really hard to do maneuvers, though it may look easy to start with. Therefore, it is very important to start the yoga adventure under supervision of an experienced yoga practitioner. If wrongly executed, these poses can result in serious injury or simply be useless in terms of what the individual is trying to get from it. Consulting a physician is also a good idea before thinking of embarking on any yoga program. Some people do so without this vital doctor's input and even wrongfully decide not to continue with the ongoing treatments and medications and replace it with yoga. This elimination is only advised and possible when some positive results are forthcoming. Besides experiencing pain in the wrist, neck, and back areas, some people have experienced ligament tears and tendons and muscles pull. There are even cases recorded stating the side effects of vertigo, though this is indeed rare. There have also been cases of gastric problems that may occur upon commencing a yoga series of classes. One of the possible explanations given for this gastric condition is that the given set of poses is not executed in the proper sequence and thus causing the discomfort. There are also instances of nausea, sour stomach, and vomiting. When the yoga exercise is taken too seriously and the warning signs of discomfort are ignored and allowed to continue unaddressed, then some frighteningly serious consequences may occur, such as internal bleeding, severe muscle strains, and ruptures. In these cases, immediate medical help needs to be sought. Wrapping up. The yogic way of life includes a code of ethics, rules, discipline and more, combined with prayer and meditation. Even a discussion of these matters helps one alleviate mental tensions and alter mental attitude. Simple asanas help to stretch and unwind the whole body and neutralize stresses. The earnest practice of yoga postures advantages all levels of experience. From the return of balance, flexibility, poise, health and well-being to the body, to the cultivation of mental equanimity, emotional balance, and interior strength. On a physical level, yoga postures energize the glands, organs, muscles and nerves in ways that traditional exercise can't.